Okay, so we're diving into this really interesting set of sources you sent us.
Yeah, all centering on just one word, prioritize.
Right. A word we use like all the time. But what do we really mean by it, according to these materials?
Well, it seems simple on the surface, doesn't it? But your sources actually unpack it quite a bit.
Especially given how much is, competing for our attention these days.
Exactly. And the sources highlight its specific meaning. And its history is pretty surprising, too.
Okay, so our mission today, just sticking to the info you provided, is to uh, figure out where prioritize came from
Nail down what it precisely means based on these texts.
and see how that definition actually works in the real world examples given.
And there's this one detail about its origin.
Yeah.
Well, it kind of shifted how I thought about it.
Yeah, okay, so what's the first big surprise from your sources?
Well, right off the bat, prioritize isn't some ancient, venerable word.
Really?
No, it's pretty recent. Your sources say it was only coined in the 1970s.
70s. Wow. Okay, so how did it come about?
It seems they just took the existing word priority.
Which means the most important thing.
Right, and they just tacked on the suffix unaetized to make it a verb.
Huh. But priority itself, or rather the root prior, that's older.
Oh yeah, much older. That comes from Latin, prior, of,
Yeah.
former, or earlier.
Okay, so prioritize
Mm.
literally meant something like make it earlier, treat it as first.
Exactly. And that original sense, that connection to first or earlier, is really central to the definition your sources provide.
Which is,
To designate or treat something as more important than other things.
okay, designate or treat. That seems key. It's active.
Very active. The sources really emphasize it's not just, making a list.
Right, not just organizing.
No, it's about actively deciding what gets the number one spot and then, crucially, acting on that decision.
So there's a nuance there the sources point out
Hmm.
between just sorting things and actually prioritizing.
A critical one, yeah.
Hmm?
It implies a deliberate ranking, a focused action.
Like organizing your bookshelf alphabetically isn't prioritizing.
Exactly. Prioritizing is looking at that shelf and saying, okay, this book is the one I need to read first for my project. Or with emails, maybe?
Yeah, like deciding which email needs an answer right now because it's the most significant versus one you can deal with later.
Precisely. Your sources frame it as a conscious choice. You're elevating one thing above others because you've deemed it most important right then, or for a specific goal.
Okay, that makes sense. And the sources give examples of where we see this.
Oh, all over the place. Obviously, the common one is needing to prioritize tasks at work or home.
Sure.
But it applies much more broadly. Your sources mention things like needing to prioritize your health.
Or constantly deciding how you prioritize time.
Yeah, those everyday examples really bring it home. Like one source mentioned choosing to prioritize sleep over scrolling on your phone.
Huh, yeah. That's a deliberate trade-off, isn't it? Valuing rest more in that moment.
It is. Or, at work, deciding to prioritize the urgent client emails first. It's all about allocating limited resources, time, energy, attention based on importance.
And it scales up too, right? This source has mentioned bigger examples.
Definitely. It's used for individuals, like she's learning how to prioritize better.
And in relationships.
Like they always prioritize family time on weekends. A conscious choice about where their focus goes.
And then even bigger picture stuff. Policies, society.
Yes, the sources detail its use there too, like in policy debates, resource allocation.
Give me an example from the texts.
Okay, headlines like, the administration vows to prioritize education funding.
Meaning education gets top billing in the budget
Yeah.
over other things.
Exactly. Or hospitals are prioritizing patients based on severity. That's ranking importance when beds or staff are limited.
Right. And another one mentioned was climate.
Yeah. Governments must prioritize climate action. That's a call to make climate the most important focus among many competing issues, according to that source.
Okay, so let's try and pull this together based on what you sent us.
Okay.
Prioritize isn't just organizing. It's deliberate. It's about ranking.
And actively treating one thing as most important. Number one.
And knowing that specific meaning straight from your sources helps cut through the noise a bit when you hear people use the word.
It really does. It signals a conscious value judgment is being made. Resources are being directed.
It clarifies that someone's taking an action, elevating one thing over others because they think it matters more right now.
Yeah, that's a good summary.
So the key takeaway, prioritize, means deliberately ranking, treating something as most important. It's linked to that root, prior, earlier, first.
Yeah.
and it's relatively new, from the 70s.
And we see it everywhere, from daily choices about emails or sleep.
To huge societal issues like education funding or climate change mentioned in your sources. Understanding that specific definition gives you a sharper lens.
Definitely.
Okay, so here's a final thought to maybe chew on skinning out from these sources. Given that the word prioritize itself only showed up in the 1970s, what does its necessity today tell us about our modern challenges?
Like why do we need a specific word for this deliberate ranking now, maybe more than ever?
Exactly. What does it say about the sheer volume of choices, or maybe the pressures we face, that deciding what truly comes first required its own verb? Something to think about.